Hello and welcome again to another episode of our ongoing series, Surviving Broker Business in the Time of COVID-19. Of course, you already know how this is going to be. We have top real estate professionals with us today in order to talk to us about how things are going for them and any advice that they can give to their fellow brokers. Of course, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask our panel, please ask them on the comment section, and we will get to we'll try to get their answers to you as soon as possible. We will also be asking these questions on the next episode of Surviving Broker Business in the Time of COVID-19. Now, I have with me today Dorie Pizarra of Theoz Realty, Sarena
Hi.
Sukhani of REBAP Greenhills, and Grace Dela Rosa of REBAP LMP. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm sure our audience is excited to learn a lot from you three. And as always, the structure of this online roundtable will be the following. For now, there's going to be a lot of focus on broker businesses. We are on the third week of the ECQ, so there's going to be a lot of focus on that. And then these will be followed by tips for property seekers and investors. And finally, we will be taking on questions from the viewers. So with that being said, let's start with the first question. The first question is, we're on the third week of ECQ. And how are you as a broker, or if you own a brokerage, handling the situation? And I think let's start with Dorie, if you may go ahead.
All right. Hi. Good morning. Number one is first of all, thank you so much for being a part of this
Mm-hmm.
conference. Yeah, as a brokers, what I do and how do I handle the current scenario? Yes, of course. At the very beginning, it was like, oh my God, are we gonna do my work or are we gonna die? If I will do and I will die, it's better not to do anymore. It's like that. And then on the other hand, I have to be positive. No, I have to continue doing my work because as usual, I have a clientele or the leads are there. So it is not a problem for the leads to be assisted. The thing is like, yun nga, nagkaroon ng medyo epekto talaga sa, sa akin, yung takot natin sa current
Mm-hmm.
scenario. Ang dami ng messages na dumarating, eto, namatay, eto, nagkasakit, oh my God. Alam mo yung, sabi ko na please do not send any messages anymore with regarding to COVID kasi talaga kumbaga natatakot ka na eh. Alam mo yon,
Mm-hmm.
talaga lang ang message ko sa mga agent ko, please hang on, pray lang tayo, kaya natin to. And wala tayong magagawa kasi hindi lang naman tayo dito, tayo lang eh. It's a worldwide chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So, kailangan lang natin talagang maging positive. So, yun. And then, of course, so for me as a broker, I continue doing my work. In fact, may mga na-close ako.
Oh, okay.
Akin ng, nakapag-reserve sila, pinag-reserve ko sila ng, because I'm into leasing eh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into leasing. So, those people who are na kailangan nila mag-move in, pero hindi naman talaga sila makaka-move in kasi number one, hindi ka pwedeng mag-enter at hindi ka move in, hindi ka rin pwedeng mag-move out kung saan ka ngayon.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Because of the current scenario. So, but then I have to encourage them to, if you wanted to book this unit, kasi pwede naman tayo mag-move in kapag anytime na mag-over ang lockdown, yun, you have to reserve the unit. So, they do the reservations. So, at least ako, alam ko na pag nag-over na yung lockdown na to, I have receivables. Kasi talagang, di ba? So, yun. So, this is as a broker that I do. I continue calling my clientele kasi continue din naman natin. Hindi nga lang siya sobra, pero at least meron din mga positive. Kahit ngayon, just now, a while ago, may tumawag sa akin and I do assist them. I do the arrangement for them, the groundwork. Ina-arrange ko na sila. So, alam ko na sino yung mga positive after the lockdown. So, my is continue. Now, when it comes to the brokers owners for my company, my freelance agent right at the moment, some actually are, I think I have 3 agents talagang very positive sila and sabi ko, saludo ko sa'yo kasi very positive. Talaga nag-boost pa sila. Sabi ko, wow, galing mo. Sabi ko, very positive siya. Yes, ma'am, kasi samantalahin natin, ma'am, na nasa bahay sila. Which is a very good point, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Alam,
Tama.
sabi ko, marami ka na bang positive ngayon? Yes, ma'am, waiting lang talaga tayo na matapos itong yung natin, yung lockdown. So marami na akong mga positive na line up. So sabi ko, how do you handle ano ba yung mga problema mong na-face ngayon na current yung issue nila? Ma'am, kasi gusto talaga nilang mag-view yung unit. So sabi ko, gawin mo na lang, yung video, ipakita mo. So sabi niya, yes, I made my own presentations pa, pero kailangan talaga some client, they still want to really view the unit.
Mm-mm.
You know, gusto nila makita yung talagang actual location. So still, very good. I was really, sabi ko, galing mo talaga. I mean, yung positivity, kasi ako, on the very beginning, medyo talagang nalaylo din ako eh. Hinayaan yung mga agent ko na ma-feel yung current scenario eh. Kasi kailangan magkaroon tayo ng mga recollections agad, nagpipray ako. Tapos, nagsisend ako nag-online ako, tapos walang pumapansin. Tapos sabi nila, pag meron akong kinakausap, sabi nila, Dorie, pwede bang ayusin mo na muna yung sa current scenario, ka na muna mag-isip ng negosyo. Ganon.
Yeah.
Positive and yung iba nga is negative, and ako rin naapektuhan din talaga ako. Parang sabi ko, Lord, kumbaga sabi ko sa sarili ko, Dorie, laban lang. Hanggat buhay, laban. Mahirap. Diba? Kasi natapos din to eh. But diba, at pag natapos ang lockdown natin, meron tayong, alam na natin na continuous yung negosyo mo.
I think that sentiment is actually important kasi at the very beginning, I know many of our brokers in the beginning panels were saying, "Oh, wait lang, let's wait for the dust to settle, and then we practice and learn and do what we can." What about for you, Sarena? What's your experience, naman?
Actually, this is the third week of the quarantine, but we already started feeling the COVID-19 effect last January when the Chinese tenants was not able to go back here in the Philippines. So there's a lot of tenancy agreements that were already pre-terminated during that time. I'm not sure with my other colleagues here, but for us, maybe around 30 plus transactions were pre-terminated, all by the Chinese tenants. So yeah, but this time during the quarantine is really different because nobody can go out. I mean, you cannot do any viewings at all. So, just like with Dorie, we keep on receiving the inquiries, but we cannot go out and do viewings for them.
Yeah, I think. Pero so that's for your Chinese clients. For your local clients, naman, what's the experience?
For the local clients who are for the tenants, for example, some of the tenants are really asking for the rent relief. And as you know, there's a mandated government, but the Bayanihan Act of the government saying that there's going to be a rent relief. But as to who gets it, we don't know. We don't actually know. Of course, for the commercial part, there is really rent relief for those establishments that are closed. But for I think the prerogative of the owners.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about for you, Grace? What is your experience right now for REBAP?
My experience right now for my own realty, which is Grace and Power Realty, actually my answer is quite similar to Dorie's answer. Kasi diba, everything has been so negative. Negativity is everywhere. So I try to shield myself by not actually watching TV. I'm not even accessing the radio. I just get to learn about all these things through Facebook. So since I came to know about the lockdown, and parang grabe, info overload sa mga Viber, Messenger, puro COVID. So sabi ko, I have to be positive. I have to remain positive. Parang we have to combat negativity by instilling positivity. So with my own team, the Grace and Power Realty, actually I only have one real estate salesperson. But my two children are currently enrolled at LaSalle Benilde, studying BSREM, BS in Real Estate Management. So I just told them we cannot be stopped by this quarantine. So we just have to go on business as usual by trying to, by continuously posting our ads, our listings online sa all available portals. And yun nga, I'm one of the Lamudi subscribers, and not just that, is iba pa rin yung mga Viber groups namin, Messenger, whatever. So, yun lang, para hindi ma-down yung spirit ng mga children ko, my salesperson ko. Sinasabi ko lang, this too shall pass. This is just a phase. And given the answer, Dorie, parang, kasi I'm into general brokerage. I'm really into sales. But so since I think sales transactions are put on hold right now, even leasing. But now I got to realize na siguro I have to maximize na all avenues in real estate. Like siguro I will get into leasing na rin. Kasi 'di ba, it's so inspiring to learn about Dorie generating income. I mean, she knows that she will be receiving something after this lockdown period. So sabi ko, wow, this is a very good opportunity for me to take into that avenue as well.
All right. So, speaking of, we've been discussing, okay, so right now, syempre, slow down muna tayo sa pag-close because, we can't do viewings, we can't physically come to the property and show the property off to our clients. And so you've now mostly been focused on sales and marketing activities. Is this the same for all three of you?
For me, yes, kasi that's what I do. I really sell. Pero yun nga, medyo yung inquiry bumaba for sales. Kasi nga, of course, before they buy something, they have to view the property. And now, how can we do viewings when we are on a lockdown? So sabi ko, one realization for this is the importance of having videos. So dun pa lang, I mean, parang we should not limit ourselves to posting just the best photos of the property. Kasi pagka naka-video yan, all angles, basta maganda yung pagkaka-video, mabagal siya, I think that will do half of the work na eh. Parang, di ba? The buyers will get to be able to decide 50% na having seen the video of the property that you're advertising.
And Dorie, you mentioned earlier that your staff or your salesperson has been boosting listings on Facebook. How has it been for them?
Well, actually, I have first I have leasing, some stuff for leasing, and I have some stuff for my pre-selling. For my pre-selling are all those my freelance agent. So, and then for resale, ako lang talaga. I do handle the rest. But of course, my supervision there is for the leasing and for the pre-selling. So I handle everything for all those three parts of my brokerage. Well, the one that I just talked to her kasi may question nga dito na, what are their concerns? So, tinanong ko siya yung mas matatanong ko kasi siya nag-boosting talaga siya. No, ma'am, I'm so excited, ma'am, kasi ang dami talagang very positive. So, ang dami pala, ma'am, nag-i-inquire kasi nasa bahay lang talaga sila. Samantalahin natin. Sabi ko, wow, that's good. Kasi ako, let me share it with you, boosting on the page and having subscriptions with the portal, real estate like Lamudi, there are two different result. Kasi ganito yan eh. Supposing tayo lahat nasa Facebook, diba? So, sadly, the advertisement of may isa nagbo-boost on the internet. So, lalabas, ang ganda ng unit na to, ganyan-ganyan. You have to pay this much amount and get a nice property and marketing, something like that. So, nagustuhan mo. Pero, hindi ka pa ready to bumili. Diba? Hindi ka pa ready eh. Kasi you were not looking. You were just serving. Nakita mo yung ads, maganda to. Tapos nagtanong ka sa agent mo. Nagtanong ka sa agent o nag-inquire ka. But then, if that's the buyers na yung magtatanong ka lang pero hindi ka pa ready. Pero pag ikaw ay nag-subscribe ka ng isang portal like Lamudi, for example, I am the buyer. I am ready now to buy. So what is my tendency? Mag-i-inquire na ako online. Okay? So, meaning I am ready now to buy. May na talaga akong bumili. So, pupunta ako, mag-i-inquire ako, titingin ako sa internet, tapos na makikita ang, of course, number one, Lamudi is nandyan siya. So, Lamudi is a bank of informations, no? So, isang buyer, pag nagtingin siya, ready talaga siyang bumili. Meaning, at immediate yung customer mo, bibili ka agad. Pero yung customer mo na nag-inquire through posting on the page is much more on waiting pa lang. Kumbaga, lulutuin mo pa siya. Nakanya yung difference.
Yeah.
Yung customer ng pag nagbo-boss ka sa page, hindi siya gaanong right on the spot. Or it will take another like 3 months or maybe 6 months more, lulutuin mo pa siya.
So for the experience pala sa sa salesperson yung nakakausap niyo lang, they did boosting para lang makakuha ng interest, like makakita lang ng mga tao who are interest na waiting lang. Tama?
Yeah, so far yun.
So far
my personal, yes, pero my personal experience, ganun yung nangyari sa akin. Matagal na kasi ako nag-boss dati. Before ako my main or what was my first marketing strategy was to post on the page, and I did a lot. Pero wala ako halos na close doon. Kasi then to realize, ganun pala ang pagkakaiba ng customer na nakuha mo ng page or nag-post ka ng page or sa customer na nakuha mo sa isang portal. Yung ko na-realize yung kanilang behavior ng isang buyer. Yes, kung buyer ako, magtitingin ako sa internet and lalabas yung mga portal. And kasi naghahanap ako. So, meaning, pupunta ako sa isang place where nandun lahat ng mga property, or that moment, magtatanong na ako sa mga agent. Pero yung nagsisurf lang ako kung anong ginagawa ko sa internet, may biglang dumating na advertisement, nakita ko siya, ang ganda nito, nag-inquire ako. But then, I am not ready to buy. So, yung pala yung pagkakaiba.
Alright.
I don't know if that's the same question. So, yun ba yun?
No, it totally makes sense. But for Sarena naman, what have been the sales activities the marketing activities that you've been doing so far during this quarantine period?
Okay, so of course, we still continue our online marketing. We did not deactivate our advertisements with any platforms. But we also saw the plunge in inquiries, of course, because of this quarantine. So even if we have inquiries, we cannot check the properties. So, but then again, when my company is actually handling or managing a 2-star budget hotel here in Cubao. So as soon as we heard about the lockdown, we immediately contacted all the BPOs around us. So before the lockdown of the building, we were able to get a BPO to use most of our rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a good thing for us and also for the owners. So I think with this kind of scenario, with this quarantine or any other things that might happen, we should always be very fast in thinking of ways to market our own properties or rentals.
Right. So that's actually really good thinking. I'm sure how many if I may ask, how many units have been used from your hotel?
Well, right now it's 28.
Wow. 28 units. Wow. Okay.
They actually wanted to rent out more. But then again, starting March 19, the PMO of the building started to mandate that there's no additional move-ins. So even if they want to get all the rooms, they cannot anymore.
All right. So we talked about how you're generating leads. Okay, it seems that business is still ongoing in terms of generation of leads. And now let's talk about retaining. So I think one common thing that all three of you have been discussing is that yes, we're getting a lot of inquiries, but because we can't show the properties, we can't really say now. Okay, these are sure buyers, or these are confirmed. So my next question will be, how are you retaining these inquiries, or are you retaining some clients, or making sure that they're engaged so that after the lockdown, they'd still be very interested and are willing to visit the property? I think we can start with who wants to start? Maybe Sarena, would you like to start? How are you retaining clients right now?
Well, I think for now we are really focusing on project selling because as you know, if you're selling a pre-selling development, you really cannot show anything. right?
Right, of
So
course.
there's no property to be
Mm.
shown. So you're going to send emails about the property, where is it located, and all that stuff. So it's actually the same as if you're in quarantine.
Of
So
course.
since now we're in quarantine, we're sending out emails about the pre-selling projects of other developers. Of course, for those people who are really interested, because we don't want to send out like an email blast to all our clients, because of course we wanted to be sensitive enough not to
Mm-hmm.
pressure people to into buying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
we're just sending it to the people who are still wanted to buy a pre-selling property. For now, that's where we can focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Grace, what about you? What are you doing to retain clients during this situation?
To retain clients, ako, I just maintain the connection.
Mm-hmm.
I try to um, either text or call them, asking how they are. Tapos yung business side, I think that will come later on. Kasi 'di ba, we're having a very tough situation right now. So even if I want to sell to them, I cannot even I cannot even pop up the topic on selling. Basta I would just like to let them know that I'm still here,
Mm-hmm.
that if situation improves, then again we can do business together. Yeah, that's how I do it. And not just with the present clients, but I also try to reconnect with the past clients. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to do to reconnect with all those clients that we had na we have lost connection.
All right.
Mhm.
Uh, Dory, what about you? What have you been
Uh,
doing to retain your clients during this time?
well, especially the landlords, no? So what I do is I used to message them, hello ma'am, how are you? Para lang keep in touch with them. Kasi syempre, matagal na panahon. And then, medyo may personal touch din lang na, oy, kamusta na ma'am? How about future plan? Meron ba tayong uh, plan to buy pre-selling property? Kasi ang investment, ganyan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Same time, of course, oh ma'am, may iba ka pa ba property na for lease? May mga ibebenta ka ba, ma'am? Or is this just like lead generation na rin? But then, of course, we have to keep in touch with the clientele because most of my client kasi medyo nagiging personal din sa akin. Parang nagiging family mo sila, parang nagiging
Mm-hmm.
friend ka. Kasi sila
Yeah,
rin yung bigyan ng referral sa'yo eh.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
This is the
Yeah.
same. This is something that I really like in this work eh. Dumarami ang pamilya mo, dumarami ang friends mo. So
Yeah.
yeah, so this is one of the thing that I maintain my clientele. And then yes, for those client na well of course I make sure na nag-reserve sila and naka-engage naman ako sa kanila para kumbaga natapos na yung groundwork. So waiting na lang tayo na mag-ayos ang current situation. So yun, we'll be back to normal.
Right. And now from questions on brokerages or on broker business, we're going to move next for tips for property seekers and investors. Because as you know, we also receive questions from property seekers themselves who may be interested. So what are real estate opportunities for seekers or investors that you've seen in the time of COVID? Sarena, I think you had a great idea of setting up your hotel so that BPOs can have their workers over there. But how what opportunity do you have, or have you seen other opportunities that have risen from a situation like this?
Well, I think one of the opportunities that is there is that we notice in this time of crisis that there's really a lot of need for hotels and also hospitals. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe after this, there's going to be a lot of first of land seekers who's going to buy for a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
really, and then after that would also be for those investors that would want to open up a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, for other opportunities for the buyers, it will really depend on the purpose of buying.
Mm-hmm.
So first is if you're an investor, you're going to look for opportunities to buy a very low price,
Mm-hmm.
which is of course they can see that coming their way because of some people who's already panicking, the sellers that are panicking and wanted to sell immediately, of course, because for a lot of reasons. Maybe because they need money for their families who are here for OFWs. That's the case. They need money for their family here. So but at the same time, there's still going to be investors who are going to buy for the future. Because they will notice that they really need a place to stay in times of crisis. And I think a home is will always be there will always be a demand for a home.
All right. Grace, what about you? Have there been any opportunities, or maybe additional, or maybe you've seen an interesting pattern in terms of what potential investors are interested at the moment?
I think it's all about demand.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen, I have this client who communicated with me first. She property and then she backed out of the sale. Sabi niya she would want to continue with the lease na lang. Tapos with what happened now, na even the rent, 'di ba? Parang we're not we're not obliged to pay the rent. So sabi niya, teka, if this will go on pa longer than April 14 and my rental fee will not be collected, I might as well sell this property na lang. Kasi, so this opens up to opportunities na, lalo na yung mga investors. I think there will be a lot of sellers projecting kasi na there will be a recession. Hopefully not, pero kung sakaling ganyan, parang pababa yung price. So I think this will be a very good opportunity for investors to be able to buy properties at prices below the market value. So I think yun yung one of the opportunities that this COVID-19 has given us.
Right. And Dorie, have you seen any opportunities for property seekers or investors during this time?
Well, especially those people who are investing in stock market, di ba? Kung makikita mo, syempre biglaan na naman magbaba para na nag-recessions, no? So definitely the tendency now, they have to invest in a real estate property. And the same thing now, this because of this COVID, na-realize ng tao, their basic needs is a home. You see? So there will always the demand of home. There will always be a demand of this. And for the business owners, siguro mas marami rin ng mga business owners like this, a hotel kasi ang dami ng mga needs na kapag needs talaga. Tapos I feel now ano ba? Yeah, so yun, mas marami. Tapos yung mga nag-invest ng mga na-invest ngayon na of course marami ang mga magbebenta ngayon ng property and marami rin ang magbababa ng price. So to those na mga investors, bibili na rin, they have the opportunity to buy like what Ma'am said. But of course, the pre-selling opportunity is always there kasi wala namang ika-cash out sa pre-selling property. Tapos yung mga developer pa, I'm sure, because the price will give or maapektuhan niya ang supply and demand, no? So I'm sure na because of the current scenario, medyo magbababa ng price ng konti or magbibigay ng discount ang mga developer. In fact, nagbibigay na sila ngayon ng maraming promo kahit sa mga sellers.
All right. Okay. So from that, okay, sorry, there's one more question for property seekers or investors. What have been the usual concerns, interests, or requests of property seekers or investors from you during this time? Siguro you might have very different ones, or maybe you would have similar types of questions or frequently asked questions during COVID-19. And if it's okay, Dorie, can you start? What are the usual questions of your property seekers during this time?
What they ask usually?
Yeah. Or your clients, ano yung usual na parang, okay, let's rephrase this. Ano
yung hinahanap nila?
Not really hinahanap, pero ano yung unang parang, what was the first question that your clients have asked you or have come to you for during the COVID-19? So as soon as nag-start yung quarantine, ano yung unang tinatanong sa inyo ng mga clients nyo?
Yes. What will happen to the tataas ba ang value ng property, bababa pa, hindi ba maapektuhan? Actually, not just when that quarantine is already started, but even before. Nervous landlords. Sabi niya, Dorie, paano na yung mga tenant natin? Pwede na ba natin ma-renew kaagad? Kasi kailangan na nilang, to make sure na hindi mababakante yung unit nila. So, nandun na yung chaos sa mga tao, lalo sa mga landlord. Tapos sa mga buyer naman, sorry, ano ba yung question ulit?
Ano yung unang inask ng mga buyers nyo with regarding sa quarantine? Or after nag-start na yung quarantine, ano yung unang mga tinanong nila na questions sa inyo or concerns na
ang tinatanong nila is kung bababa nga ang price.
So talagang all your questions are sort of price.
Yeah, nag-expect sila na magiging slow ang business kahit of course ako still thinking na somehow maapektuhan talaga ang negosyo natin. So, kaya when it comes to my staff, ano na ba ang gagawin ko ngayon sa staff ko? I-retain sila or I will just do it by myself kasi kailangan marami na ako mga personal na needs or the company restaurant. Pero kung syempre kailangan din ng staff na paswelduhan mo ay kung hindi naman sila super productive then, di ba?
Okay. Sarena, what about you? You
course,
said you've had questions since January pa with regards to
yes. Well, for some are asking like what are the best properties to buy right now, because as Dorie said, of course there will be a change in the pricing. So there's going to be properties who's going to offer really a low price. So that's going to be an opportunity for them. But the next question would also be, what's the best property to buy? And it's up to you to answer that, especially if they're investors and they just want to buy that property and have it rented out. And at this point in time, we are already having problems with the rental area or the leasing the properties because right now we don't have the foreign tenants. Okay, and after this, of course, we're going to still experience it because there's still a scare of the virus. So of course, there's still going to be probably in 2 to 3 months. So in 2 to 3 months, they will not have any tenant. So we need to set the expectations to them that yes, you can really buy at a very low price right now, but also you need to consider that it's not going to be rented out as soon as possible. But of course, we are very lucky if that happens, if we're going to rent it out as soon as possible. But of course, the Filipinos also are struggling. A lot of Filipinos are struggling. So it's going to be very hard to have Filipino tenants as well. Especially like right now, the rental prices, Dorie, you can share this with me. The rental prices in Makati, BGC, it's very, very high because of the foreign tenants.
Yeah. So to add to that, siguro, or a follow-up question would be, right, with the foreign tenants, not very interested or not able to in the first place, not able to rent out. If some of the previous brokers mentioned that there might be a price correction in that since currently in Metro Manila our prices are way above the fair market price, but they're expecting that it would level out and that it would be the proper price. Do you think even by then that maybe that might encourage local tenants who are permanently residing in the Philippines and are working in the Philippines? Would it encourage? Do you feel that it's a good idea to also think about these local tenants and be like, okay, maybe there is opportunity for longer relationships to happen, seeing as I feel like foreign tenants are temporary or in the situation, anything can happen. Do you feel like there might be that there is a little bit of encouragement in the local side naman?
Yes, I think we're going to have a lot of Filipino tenants if only we have the correction. Because at this point in time, if the prices will still remain the same, then they cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. I'm including myself. we cannot afford a very high rental rate. So if the correction really happens, then it's going to be good for everyone, especially for the landlords now that are already seeing the difference of having a Filipino tenant and also a foreign tenant. That sometimes the foreign tenant, when they leave, you have to like
There's a
do
lot of
a
maintenance.
major renovation for your unit.
Mm-hmm. Right. What about you, Grace? You mentioned earlier that you had a client who changed their mind.
Yeah.
But what are but have you received other questions or concerns from your clients right now during this quarantine period, or
Yeah.
anticipating the quarantine period pa?
Well, during this quarantine period, I have been asked several times, parang, is this a good time to buy?
Mm-hmm.
Or wait and see mode muna?
Mm-hmm.
Kasi 'di ba, parang they're reading the news, everyone is expecting na magkakaroon ng recession. So parang they are expecting the price to go down. So what I always tell them, na parang yung sa stock market, kapag walang bumibili, parang lahat down, I think this is the best time to purchase kapag bumaba yung price. So yun, they ask me for my opinion, for my advice. So yung iba, depende sa demand, if they really need a property right now, so siguro a few more weeks, then they will be able to purchase property that will be priced below the market value. But for those who don't really have that need ASAP, they can
Mm-hmm.
really wait and see.
Mm-hmm. All
Mm.
right. And from then, let's move on to questions from viewers. Now, fortunately, actually, as we were answering the first couple of questions, we've actually already answered the questions from our viewers. But there is one question that I would like to ask. What is the best? Sorry, there are. Hang on, let me see. All right. What is the best strategy to be done by real estate brokers or agents to close deals after the enhanced community quarantine is over? So, ano yung game plan ninyo? When hopefully, if by April 14, everything gets lifted, what's your game plan now? I think we can start with Dorie.
Okay. What's the game plan? Wow. Well, of course, since now, ako with my pre-selling people or pre-selling agent, mag-start na ako actually this time na magkaroon kami ng mga training online. Yun yung plan ko. Plan ko na ngayon na mag-start na rin talaga ako ng online training, online recruitment. Kasi lahat we can do, especially for the pre-selling property. Kasi we don't need to view the units. So it's just like, you know, everything can be, kasi even the Google Earth, it can also help you kung anong meron sa kapaligiran, kung saan man ang location ng project. So that's the game plan that I'm planning is, yes, to do everything. In fact, I am restructuring my business plan, incorporating the online strategy that we have to do with all us in all aspect of my business. Di ko nga alam kung i-copy ko pa yung office ko eh.
Ano na, lahat is working on the go na
Lahat
tayong lahat.
working on and then yes, kasi even after this lockdown, it doesn't mean na hindi pa rin tayo apektado. Siyempre, takot pa rin tayo. Bas, hindi ibig sabihin wala na talagang mahawahan o magkakasakit. Talagang eventually there will be there still, di ba? So we still have to see the protections of our agents. Go out when there is an ocular and also there is site orientation. Kasi everything can be learned online, you know. And then like this, we can do as in live.
Yeah. Right. Yes, of course. I think that's one thing that a lot of brokers might also have to anticipate, no? Right after the lockdown doesn't mean na tapos na, right? Doesn't mean na we can all be very aggressive and we have to think about our agents as well. For you, Sarena, what's your game plan for after
Okay,
the
our
lockdown?
game plan right now, in preparation of the after the lockdown, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in preparation, for us, it's really a time we need to maximize the quarantine, and it's time to step back to brainstorm what's going to be our 2020 plan. We need to readjust our plans, and then of course we're going to also have the trainings and webinars so we can sharpen the saw, and also the main thing that I want to impart to them is really how do you become a top of mind broker? because after this, people would really want to have a broker that they can really talk to since day one until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you're going to be the broker of the family,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're not gonna transfer from a different broker than you. So how do you become that person? And how do you stand out from the rest? And yeah, that's going to be the plan so that after this quarantine, you are not actually selling the properties, but you are actually selling your
Your service.
brokerage,
Yeah.
your services, and you as a person.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's a good tip. That's a good point. Of course, brokers are more than just someone who helps you buy and sell. These are partners for a long time. These are long time
Yeah.
partners. So how about you, Grace? What do you think, or what is your strategy after the lockdown?
Well, actually, well, no, not really after the lockdown, but for now, while we are on quarantine, the strategy that we are doing is I encourage my children, my salesperson, and of course, I for myself, I do a lot of readings. I try to grow myself by learning a lot more. Kasi this is not just about selling. We have to earn the trust of our buyers and sellers that we know what we're doing. We know the laws, ganyan. And since we already have a lot of real estate practitioners in the country, we have to be very competitive, di ba? Parang we want to have repeat sales and referrals with our past and present clients. Kaya I think one of the best strategies to continue growing by continuously enhancing ourselves with all the free online learning materials that we can access. And then a while ago while I was talking to my daughter, she told me that for herself, she would like to be very patient in searching for properties that may have been priced way below the market value para din sa mga investor clients that we have the moment ma-lift na yung lockdown, we have a list of ready of property offer para 'di ba ma-maximize natin if we have a lull right now, mabawi naman as soon as everything becomes normal. So yun.
All right. Great points, everyone. And I guess with that, we end this episode of our webinar series. Thank you so much for the tips that you've given us. Yeah, I'm sure, medyo expectations have been set in a way for if or when the lockdown is lifted, and we've learned so much from you. I'm sure our audience will have additional questions, and they have appreciated what has been shared today. And of course, thank you as well for those who are watching live. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on the comments and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Dorie, Sarena, Grace, thank you
Thank you
again
so
so
much.
much for your
Thank you
time.
so
Be
much.
safe.
Thank you. Be safe, everyone out there, and be well. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you.